not all attorneys are the same. You have people that focus on personal injury law, personal injury law. You have people that focus on criminal law, et cetera, et cetera. What's the difference between an injury attorney and a truck wreck attorney?
Sure, that is a misnomer. Everyone thinks that, well, this is an injury attorney and I got injured in a truck wreck, so we're good to go.
Mhm.
Trucking law and truck wreck law is entirely different. We practice injury law and truck wreck law. And the difference is as drastic as hiring a pediatrician to do your brain surgery.
Mhm.
Both are very good at what they do, but they're two different expertise. And truck work takes far more expertise and a willingness to crawl under those trucks, get dirty, get into those junkyards. And it's a level of knowledge and specialization that you don't need for just general injury law. You really have to know the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's regulations like the back of your hand. You have to know the data on the trucking company and know where to look for that. You can access things like their past infractions, their failures to maintain the vehicles, their failures to train their drivers, failed inspection history, but you have to know where to look for it and how to get it.
Mhm.
The specific knowledge and ins and outs of mechanics is actually also a skill that attorneys need to know. I need to be able to go with my expert and look at brakes when insurance companies or a trucking company says, "Well, my brakes failed and that's it," and know what those brakes should look like versus how they look. As an attorney, I have to know the level of mechanics to know this guy's saying his brakes failed, but his horn didn't work either. And those two things have something in common. If
Mhm.
I'm just a personal injury attorney, I'm not going to know that the horn not working and the brake system not working can actually be a part of the same problem. You need an attorney who knows the difference between brakes failing and a load shift in the trailer in the back that makes it impossible to stop at those speeds. So, like I was saying, truck wrecks are not just about running red lights or cutting people off on the highway. They are systematic failures at the highest level of these corporations, and it takes a truck wreck attorney to know how to handle these cases.
Mhm. And I don't think people realize too that, these trucks are multiple times heavier than a standard vehicle. And, they're moving down the interstate at 70, 80 miles per hour, and they're very dangerous. I mean, they
Yeah.
can cause a lot more damage than a car. And because they're so big and they're so dangerous, they have to be held at a different standard than, general, I want to say aviation, but that's not aviation, general
Transportation.
transportation, general transportation.
Transportation, yes. So, it is a difference between consumer transportation and corporate transportation or commercial transportation. We have our rules of the road, but in order for the federal regulations, the separate rules of the road to apply to a truck, it has to be over a certain weight limit. And so when you see what these weight limits are, and there's a federal limit, but then the different states adopt that. And again, this is all information that you have to know to be a truck wreck lawyer. These things are tens and tens of thousands of pounds speeding down the highway. Even if they're doing the speed limit, they're going at 70 miles an hour or 75, depending on what the limit is on the road. And they have to have, before they even put the key in the ignition, followed an entire book worth of regulations that we never have to think about when we get in our cars. And each one of those regulations either sets them up to get to their destination safely or sets them up to injure you along the way.